Hi, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today in our Math 6 class we're going to review and I'm going to reteach some of the topics that we've had in our first 9 weeks of 6th grade math class. All right, the first thing we have here, evaluate, means to find the answer. And this is the answer to a division problem. To set it up, the first number goes in the box, the second number goes outside the box. Now, how many 31s are in a 1? None. In a 17? None. How many 31s would be in 176? What do you think? Yes? 5. Let's see. 31 times 5, 155. That works. So put a 5 above the 6, 155 below. Now we're going to subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. 7 minus 5 is 2. Bring down. How many 31s are in a 217? Bella? 7. And I know that's correct. 7 times 1 is 7, and 7 times 3 is 21. So the answer is 57. Any questions? Very nice. Make sure you show all of your steps. Now let's look at question number 2. Kim has a ribbon that measures 120 inches. She would like to cut the ribbon into 20 equal-sized pieces with no leftover ribbon. What length should she cut each piece? Okay, when you see the word cut, it usually means we're going to subtract or divide. She would like to equal-sized pieces. So cut equal-sized pieces. What are we going to do? Yes. We are going to divide. Cut equal-sized pieces. That equal-sized pieces means, we're going to divide. 120 divided by 20. All right? Cut equal size. We're going to divide. Or if you want to cut to see how many pieces would fit in it, it's another where you will divide. Most of the time when you see the word cut, it means to do division. All right. How many 20s in a 1? None. In a 12? None. In 126. And that comes out to be perfect. So what length should she cut each piece? 6 inches. I think most of the time on your exam they already have the label for you, so you don't have to type in the word inches. Oh, right, here is the answer blank right down there. All right, any questions? Let's go on to number 3. Quotient. All right, remember, add, let's see, it goes plus means to add, multiply, let me do it again. Sum means to add, product means to multiply, difference means subtract, and quotient means divide. All right, you can't really see my division symbol there, but I think you can remember. Now, the first number goes in the box. 2, 9, 5, 2, divided by 82. All right, how many 82s are in a 2? None. In a 29? None. In a 295? 3. 82 times 3. And kids, I like to see your multiplication when you do it on a paper. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. Put a 3 neatly above the 5. 2, 4, 6. Now we're going to borrow. So because 5 will not subtract a 6, borrow from the 9, it turns into an 8. 15 minus 6 is 9. 8 minus 4 is 4. Bring down the next number. How many 82s are in a 492? Is it 5? Yes, let's try 5. 82 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10, carry a 1, 4, 1, 0. Let's try 6. 82 times 6. Oh, that's perfect. 492. So it is a 6. And the answer is 36. We don't have to add a 0 or anything. Any questions? Product means to multiply, and they already have the multiplication sign there. 7 and 23 hundredths times 0 and 52 hundredths. Now in this problem they just happen to line up, but do you have to line your decimal points up when you multiply, class? No. In this one it just happened to do that. So let's show all of our work. 2 times 3 is 6. I notice that some of you are sitting there and I don't see pencils moving. Move your pencils. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. Now I'm going to multiply by the 5. There is one number after the 5, so I will put down one place value 0. Now I will multiply by the 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry a 1. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. Put down a 1. Carry a 1. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 1 is 36. Now I add my number. Did I make a mistake? Okay. Add them together. Now we have to put our decimal point. Where will the decimal point go? Maya. I know you have a question. Yes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers behind the decimal point. So we have to have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers behind the decimal point. 3 and 7,596 10,000ths. Any questions on the first 4 problems? All right, let's go on to the next one. This one put a little star. It's easy, but it's a little tricky. It has a tricky part to it. The ratio of boys to girls in choir is 1 to 4. Okay, if the school has 200 students in choir, how many are boys? We are doing boys to total. Do you see that? So we are doing boys to total. All right, how many school students are in the total choir? There are 200. Now, what's the ratio of boys? Is it going to be 1 to 4? No. What's the total? It's going to be 1 to, what's 1 plus 4? 5. See that? It's 1 to the total. Do you see where I got the 5? All right. So now I can figure it out. Boys to total, because they gave us 200 total students in choir. We want to know how many boys are in the choir if there are 200 in choir. That's a total. Now, 5 times 40 is 200. So 1 times 40 is 40. My ink pen is running out of ink there. The answer, 40 boys. Do you see how I did that one? It is tricky. It's to total. All right? Are you okay with that? All right, let's go on. We'll try to practice this one again. All right, let's go to the back side. Hattie and Lois are hiking the ATV trail, which is 83,500 feet long. There are 5 markers, M1 through M5, evenly posted along the trail to direct hikers as shown below. Okay, now they do this stuff like in the marathons and things, where they have like markers where you stop and get a drink, or just so you know how you're doing in your race, in big long races. Now, how many feet are between each marker? Well, we have 85,300 feet, but how many spaces are there? Not how many markers, how many spaces are there? Let's count them. Okay, it's not 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can't forget the end of the race. It's 6. So you're going to divide 83,000 or 85,300 by what? Yes, not 5, but 6. Do you see that? Okay, now I'm going to do that. How many 6s are in an 8? 1. Subtract. Bring down. How many 6s are in a 25? 4. 24. Subtract. Bring down. How many 6s are in a 13? 2. 12. Subtract. Bring down. How many 6s are in a 10? 1. Subtract. Bring down. How many 6s are in a 40? 8. No, 7. No, 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract. Okay, and if I put a decimal point and add another 0, bring it down, it's going to be 6 repeating. All right. Now let's just round this to the 10th place, okay, or to the whole number. So I'm going to say how many feet between each marker? Well, the exact answer is this, but we're just going to round it to the ones place. And that will be 1, 4, 2, 1. Now, will that 6 turn the 6 into a 1 or into a 7? Will this 6 here turn that 6 into a 7 or keep it a 6? 7. Okay. All right. Now, how many feet have they hiked when they reach the 4th marker? The 4th marker. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to take this answer times 4. So let's do that. 1, 4, 2, 1, 7 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry a 1. And the answer is 56,868. All right. Now you could have added it 4 times if you're better at adding than multiplying. But show your division. I think, usually the numbers come out perfect on the test, but it's a pretty big number. Any questions on how to do this? Number 7, label the graph and plot the following. Okay, zebras is going to be the horizontal and lions is the vertical. Okay, so here I'm going to put the word zebra. Pay close attention. All right, zebra, and this one stands for lions. All right, and the name of the graph is zebra to lions. Ratio of zebras to lions. Okay, so for zebras, it's 3 to 1. Oh, they're going by 2, so the 1 will be right there. Does everyone see? Over 3, up 1. Any questions on that? Now the next one is 6 to 2. Over 6, up to 2. The next one is you have 9 zebras to 3 lions. Over 9, and the 3 is in between the 2 and the 4. Any questions on that? Make sure you know how to do that. There's a question that you'll see on your exam that it has you choose your graphs, and you have to be careful. It's really easy. I thought, oh, there are 2 right answers. I didn't notice the labels. So make sure when you're looking at the graphs, they have zebras here and lions there to make sure you're reading it correctly when you have to choose. All right? So this stands for zebras. The vertical one stands for lions. Any questions? All right, now let's go to question number 8. The following is needed to make 40 hair bows. You need 20 yards of blue ribbon, 4 yards of green ribbon, 8 yards of purple ribbon. How many yards of green ribbon are needed for 30 hair bows? So we want to deal with green. I'm going to put green on top, total hair bows on the bottom. I'm going to set up a proportion. So 4 with 40 equals what over 30? Can a 40 turn into a 30? No, so let's scale it down. All right, So I am going to simplify this to 1 over 10, right? 4 over 40 will equal, oh, that one's out of ink, equals 1 over 10. So if I have 1 over 10, can that turn into a 30 pretty easily? Yes. Does everyone see how I went from 4 over 40 to 1 over 10? Divided them both by 4. Divide by 4, divide by 4, and that's how I got the 1 over 10. Now it's a friendly problem. 10 times 3 is 30, so 1 times 3 is 3. How many yards of green? She needs 3 yards of green ribbon. Any questions? All right. Now we are on problem 9 on the second paper for our reteaching session. Here we have Max, and he wants to buy some shoes. These shoes are $105. He started with $17.35 in his savings account. Last week he deposited. Kids, when you deposit, you add. He deposited or added $23.58, and today he deposited some more money. How much does he have, and how much more money does he need? Well, to figure out how much he has, you add $17.35, and when we add, you line your decimal points up. You add $23.58, $23.58, and $36.30. Now we are going to add these together. That'll be a 13, carry a 1, 4 plus 5 is 9, and 9 plus 3 is 12. Put down a 2, carry a 1, don't forget to put your decimal point in. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 6 is 17. Put down a 7, carry a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So how much money does he have? He has $77.23. Now, how much more money does he need? What will I do to figure this answer? Yes.
I'm going to do 105 minus 77.7.
Yes. Oh, wait. We have a problem. There is no decimal point in 105. Where will it go?
After the 5.
After the 5. $77, $105.23. Now, above the 23 cents, what will I have to put in? Class? Zeros. Very good. Now, I am going to, since we're subtracting, borrow from the 5, it turns into a 4, that turns into a 10. Borrow from the 10, it turns into a 9, so that can be a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 2 is 7. Don't forget your decimal point. 4 cannot subtract 7. Borrow from the 10, it turns into a 9, so that's a 14. 14 minus 7 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. He still needs $27.77. Any questions? All right. Now, I started doing number 10 before you got your paper because it was sort of a hard problem too. Let's put a star by number 10. I think it's a little challenging. Here, I'm looking, it's like, okay, they're supposed to equal each other, but I don't know if 84, it goes into 504. That's pretty hard. I couldn't figure it out. So, this is called scale down and scale up. I'm going to simplify 8 over 84. See what I did here? Simplify, or 4 over 84. 4 over 84, let's write this down, will simplify to 1 over 21 because 4 can divide 4 and 4 divides 84. Do you see what I did? Now, once I've simplified it, I can figure out this answer here. Now, how can a 21 turn into a 504? Well, I did a division problem. I took 504 divided by 21. Okay, and I get my answer. So 504 divided by 21. 21 goes into 50 twice. That's 42. Subtract. I borrow from the 5, it turns into a 4, that turns into a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. Bring down the next number. How many 21s are in an 84? 4. It's perfect. So the answer for the mystery number is 24. So let's re-evaluate. What did I do? I looked at it. It looked hard. So I simplified my fraction. I simplified this. In fact, I got it all, with a 1 in it, which is always very helpful. So that simplified to 1 over 21. Then I said, how can a 21 turn into a 504? I divided it. Now, if this weren't a 1, I would take 24 times whatever that number is, and that would give me my missing number. But since it's a 1, I can just do 1 times 24, and that gives you the answer of 24. All right. Any questions? That was a little bit hard, but I think you can figure it out. Simplify, and then work your way up. Now, write the following fractions as decimals. Kids, these are some you should have memorized. 1/4 equals what decimal? Yes. 25 hundredths. 0.25. Sometimes it'll be 0.25, okay? What will 3/4 equal? What's the decimal for 3/4? Think of it. What's 3/4 of a dollar? Yes. 0.75. 0.75 or 0.75. Now you should know what 1/2 is. Bella. 0.50. 0.5. 0.50. 0.5. Those are all different names for 1/2. Now, let's put a little star. 1/3. Now, if you don't remember what they are, you just divide. 1 divided by 3. The top number goes in the box, the bottom outside. How many 3's are in a 1? 0. Put in a decimal point. How many 3's are in a 10? 3. 9. Subtract. Now, it's just going to repeat, isn't it? So you put a line over the 3. 1/3 is 0.3 repeating. Okay? Any questions on that? 2/3. What's 2 times 0.3 repeating? 0.6 repeating. 2/3 is 0 and 6/10 repeating. Let me prove that to you. All right? 2 divided by 3. Put in your decimal point. How many 3's are in a 2? There are no 3's in a 2. Add a 0. Bring it down. How many 3's are in a 20? 6. And look what happens. It's going to repeat. Do you see, if you don't have it memorized, do you see how to change a fraction to a decimal? You divide. But I would really like for you to have these 5 memorized. 1/4 is 25 hundredths. 3/4 is 75 hundredths. 1/2 is 5/10. 1/3 is 3/10 repeating. 2/3 is 6/10 repeating. Now, 1/5. If I can get that over a 10, then I know my decimal. 5 times what is 10? 2. So you get 2/10. And 2/10 as a decimal is 2/10, like that. How do you write 2/10? Like that. Okay, 2/5. This is another one. I can get it over a 10. 5 times what is 10? 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4/10 is 4/10. Any questions? Are you writing these down? Make sure. 3/5. You're understanding how to do the fifths? 5 times 2 is 10. So 3/5 is how many tenths? 6/10. Any questions? Oh, and the easiest one. How do you write 1/10 as a decimal? 0.1. 1/10. Any questions on those problems? Wonderful. Let's go on now. It says write the following percents as decimals. Kids, to change a percent to a decimal, you move it 2 places left. 2 places to the left. All right? So 25% is 0.25 or 0.25. 40%, 1, 2, is 0.4 or 0.4. Now, 0.4 is the same thing as 0.40. They say the same thing, all right? I know on the multiple choice on our last test, some of you said the answer wasn't there because you had 0 and 40 hundredths. I don't know if that's the exact number, but they only gave you the choice of 0 and 4/10. They are the same thing. 64%, 0.64 or 0.64. 1, 2, 155% is 1.55, and this one, 1, 2, 0.035. You had an empty spot, and technically it's 0.035. Any questions on that? Okay, in number 13, if 56% of the students like chocolate milk, what percent do not like chocolate milk? Well, if 56%, 100% is all of the class, right? So just subtract. 100 minus 56% will give you 44%. So what percent do not like chocolate milk? 44%. Now they want a percent, so you have to give them a percent answer. Write this percent as a decimal. What's 44% as a decimal? Yes. 0.44 or 0.44. And what will it be as a fraction? You put 44 over 100, right? And will that simplify? Yeah, to 22 over 50, and that'll simplify again to 11 over 25. All right, now it did not say simplify, so if you put that, that should be correct, unless it says simplify. But if it would say simplify, you would have to simplify it. Any questions on that? Okay, let's go to the next page then. Another percent problem. If 84% of the students say math is their favorite subject, what fraction of the students say math is their favorite class? Okay, or favorite subject. Well, we need to write that as a fraction. How do I write a percent as a fraction? I put it over a what? 84 over 100. Now, it did not say simplify, so you could leave it that way, okay? What fraction of the students do not think math is their favorite subject? Well, 100 100ths minus 84 100ths will give us the answer. Okay, so 100 minus 84 will give you, borrow from the 10, it turns into a 9, that turns into a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, 9 minus 8 is 1, so 16 over 100. Now, if it wanted you to simplify it, 4 divides them both, and you would get 4 over 25. And if you had to simplify that one, 4 divides them both, you would have 21 over 25. Now, this is the checker. Does 21 25ths plus 4 25ths equal 25 25ths? It does. So that would equal the whole amount. All right? Now let's practice our dividing again. In number 15, 41 and 8/10 divided by 5/10. Move it 1, put it up, and 5 goes into 41 8 times. Subtract, bring down. How many 5s are in an 18? 3. Subtract, add a dotty dot, bring it down. You've got to keep on dividing. 5 goes into 36 times. So it's 83 6/10. All right. Let's do number 16. 7 3/500 times 4 3/10. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry a 1. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Put down a 0. Carry a 1. 3 times 7 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. I have one number behind the 4, so I put 1 place value 0. Now I can multiply by the 4. Pay attention and do these problems. 4 times 5 is 20. Put down a 0, carry a 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Put down a 4, carry a 1. 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 1 is 29. Add the numbers together. Carry a 1. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? There's a point. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's 31 605 thousandths. Okay, in the next problem, we are dividing. Quotient means to divide. 108 divided by 15. How many 15s are in a 1? None. In a 10? None. In a 108, what did you get? Is it 6 or 7? 15 times 7. Put down a 5, carry a 3. 7 plus 3 is 105. It will be 7. 105. Subtract. Now, kids, add a decimal point and a dotty dot. Bring it down. How many 15s are in a 30? 2. Put your 2, oh, don't forget the decimal point. And you have 7 2/10. Make sure you're writing this down, everyone. Okay. Next, we have a bunch of numbers and they're written in 3 different ways. I have fractions, decimals, and percents. It says put them in order from least to greatest. I'm going to change to decimal because I think that's a little bit easier to do. Change to decimal. What's the decimal for 3/4, class? Excellent, 0.75. That one's already, what's the decimal for 50%? 0.5 or 0.5 or 0.50. Now, 22 over 25. 25 is a factor of 100, isn't it? Yeah. 25 times 4 is 100. 22 times 4 is 88. So that equals 88 hundredths, which is 0.88. Okay, now I'm going to put them in order from least to greatest. Which one's the smallest? This one. 50%'s the smallest. Then it's going to be 3/4. Then it will be 22 25ths. And our largest number is 0 and 89 hundredths. See how to do those? All right, write each decimal as a percent. To change a decimal to a percent, you move it 2 places to the right. So 1 is 100%. Write that down. You should always know 1 whole is 100%. 0.5, move it 2 places, 1, 2, 50%. 1, 2, 12%. Ooh, if 1 is 100%, what's 23 going to be? 2,300. Don't forget your percent. And this one, 1, 2, it is 4%. Any questions? All right, our last problem. There's an aquarium display. And it has a ratio of 3 green turtles to 7 brown turtles. If the display has a total, here's that word total, of 100 turtles, how many of the turtles are green? So I want to do green to total, right? So let's write that down. All right, 3 green turtles. What's the total in this ratio? It's going to be 3 over what? Yeah. 10. Because the total will be green turtles plus brown turtles. So 3 plus 7 is 10. We have 100 turtles. Now it's pretty easy. How does a 10 turn into a 100? Times 10. So 3 times 10, 30. There are 30 green turtles. All right, kids, that's a wrap.